made it. I'm back as guest host for Mocha in the Morning, subbing in for the awesome Keisha Boyd. I'm happy to be back with you, Jorge.
I know, I'm just seeing your water in the ground woman chair. And just because, like, you're back, because Keisha can be here, we updated the set.
Isn't it gorgeous? I love it.
Now, there's a little bird, a little cardinal. He's trying to get into the studio.
Yes.
And he doesn't have a mask. So he needs to stay outside.
Or a ticket.
Or a ticket. And so if you might see him, like, poking at this window. We already had this conversation. We don't want no bird flu up in here. And speaking of animals, did you see, oh my goodness, and I'm sure some of you saw it too, that video with, like, it wasn't even a cougar, it was a mountain lion.
Yes.
It was this dude, you know, taking a stroll up in Utah, a hike, and he saw some mountain lion cubs.
Yes.
Right? And he was like, oh, how cute. And then Mama came out. I was like...
She was ready. She was ready for him to get out.
Look, I haven't seen a cougar attack a young man since since Blanche on the Golden Girls. He was like, look, I'm big and scary.
Yeah, but he was running in the opposite direction than that man was doing for Blanche, so...
I think that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Girl, are you ready to do this?
I am ready.
You have a big show.
I'm excited.
Big show.
Let's go.
And we have a special guest contributor. Too.
We do.
You'll find out later who that is.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are we going to do?
We are going to first have coffee.
Mocha in the Morning is brought to you in part by the Portico Cafe, where conversation, connection, and community create change.
Welcome back, Mocha Marvels. I'm Kenya Woodard. I'm guest co-hosting today with the lovely officially Jorge. All right, Jorge, let's get into it. What you got for us today?
Yes, good to have you back. Thank you so much. Okay, so here are the steamers. So if you go to tv1.com, you'll see, and actually also see on the cover of Women's Health. So it looks like Kelly Rowland is adding to her greatest hits collection. She is bumping, bumping, bumping.
But listen, she looks fantastic. Oh my gosh. Like, really, she looks perfect.
This marriage really has her motivated.
Yes.
To have another baby. So we're super excited for her.
We are.
I think it's great when women, like, show their, like, pregnancy picture.
Absolutely.
In a teabag thong bikini.
Yes,
you know?
absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So,
yes.
Super empowering. So congratulations to Kelly Rowland and to her future Destiny's Child.
Yes.
Hey, guess what?
What's that?
Stevie Wonder has released some new music, so go ahead and check out
Yay!
Huffington Post. 2 new songs, and he also has a new kidney.
Oh.
Now, let me tell you, Stevie Wonder has been such an inspiration, so not only just for his fans, but like to a lot of other musical entertainers and artists.
Absolutely.
So it's really cool because we haven't had any like real new music. I mean, ever since he went to part-time loving, we haven't had like any like super like new music. So
yeah, so 2 new songs, a new kidney. This is a different kind of reinvention.
Yes.
I love it.
I mean, like from the inside out.
Yes.
So congratulations to you, Stevie Wonder.
Absolutely.
Eddie Murphy. Okay, I know we talked about this before on the show, and we're kind of like, who knows what's happening with the pandemic and all these movies that we want to see. Well, finally, Amazon Studios is saying that Coming to America, the sequel, should be out before Christmas.
Yes, and I am so excited. I cannot wait.
I can't wait to see, like, because you know how, like, colorful that, I mean, just, I remember the choreography.
Yes.
You know,
the visual effects,
everything.
Yeah,
and that was for back in that day.
Right.
Can you imagine what it's gonna look like now?
My expectations are high. So
and it better be funny.
Yeah, and it absolutely better be funny.
You know, and I'm also curious to see Arsenio Hall back in front of the camera.
I'm looking forward to seeing the whole gang because you know we haven't seen them
the
since.
Whole dog pound. Okay, so I kept going back and forth with our producer, hi, about this particular story. And she claimed that I was not a TikTok fan, which I am. But for whatever reason, I missed this story about this gentleman.
How did you miss this?
TikTok and go to CNN.com. Well, he just got a whole ocean spray campaign.
Yes.
Because he was skateboarding, longboarding, surfboarding, whatever kind of board he was on.
As long as he wasn't waterboarding.
Right, no. But, listening to Fleetwood Mac, and boom, like they sent him a truck, stuff like ocean spray, they're cutting him checks.
Yeah.
On TikTok.
A lot of people were rooting for this to happen from the jump. They were tagging Ocean Spray almost as soon as the video came out. So I'm happy to see him,
Yes, I'm just going to grab some stuff and get on some roller skates and see, what kind of ticks I can get from my top.
That'll be a blooper reel for me.
And listen to this. This is super interesting because, I'm waiting to see what's going to happen. So, remember the show, Family Matters?
Yes.
Well, the siblings now who are in that show, they're going to play husband and wife, okay, in Christmas in Carolina.
Which siblings?
Yeah, Darius McCrary and Kelly Shane Williams. Yeah.
Shanine.
Yeah. Go to BET.com. And some people are kind of weirded out by that. But, brother and sister playing, husband and wife.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that's been happening since, day one. In the history of the world. Hello.
The Winslow kids got hitched.
So I can't wait to see what Twitter has to say about that. And I can't wait to see what you guys have to say about that. And I can't wait to see what this actual movie is going to look like.
Yeah, I'm curious to know.
I just hope it's not an affectionate scene where that's just
I'm hoping for a really strong black love type of storyline.
Yeah, we're all about strong black love.
Absolutely.
That's all we want to see from all of you.
Yes.
So those are your steamers for the week.
Well, all right.
That's a lot.
Really hot.
Yes.
And heavy.
Hot and heavy.
But
not heavy
they
as piping hot topics. So stay tuned. That's coming up next.
Mocha in the Morning's Piping Hot Topics has been brought to you by Patty's Peppers, Hungarian hot and sweet peppers. Which will you choose? Why not both?
Welcome back, Mocha Marvels, to Mocha in the Morning. I'm your guest co-host, Kenya Woodard. I'm glad to be back in the grown woman chair. We have completed the steamers. Let's get into the piping hot topics. I got my ladies here with me to help me do that. First up, Dr. Jen Dobson. Hey, Dr. Jen.
Good morning. I'm so excited to be here. Happy Friday. It's been a long week.
It has. Happy Friday to you, honey. And then our guest contributor today on the show is Sanja Lioness Mackey, Facebook's mediocrity escapologist. Hey, Sanja.
That's me, coming to you from Houston, Texas. Happy Friday, everyone.
Happy Friday, and we're so glad you're here. Welcome to the show. All right, ladies, let's do it. Let's get into our piping hot topics. So first up, Megan Thee Stallion. I mean, what can she not do, right? Her latest thing, she's put in an op-ed and she's expressing, how, this fight for black women, she's going to pretty much lead the charge. Ladies, just let me know how you're feeling about this. Dr. Jen, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so it's crazy to me, the fact that people are so upset about her saying that black women need to be protected, it's kind of the same thing as people saying all lives matter. It's the same concept. Why can't we express the fact that we need to be protected as black women, because we're not protected as black women? So she was absolutely right in this whole Tory Lanez thing, which we've talked about before. the fact that she almost felt like she needed to protect him as a Black man, but now she's not getting the support of people because they're saying, well, clearly she must have done something wrong for a man to want to shoot her. So it has to be her fault.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that she spoke out and was like, look, like as a Black woman, I don't feel protected and other Black women don't feel protected. And it's time to change that.
Absolutely. There was a lot of backlash when she did come out, unfortunately. Sandra, talk to me about what are your thoughts regarding, you know, Megan. A lot of people like to just cast her as this rapper, but clearly she's more than that, right?
Well, yeah, because I was like, wait, Megan the Stallion? That Megan? Because, yeah, some of this I was hearing for the first time, and it was surprisingly so. You know, I was glad to hear her talk about that. And I think we're going to have some of those uncomfortable conversations in order to get people out of their comfort zones in order to have real change. Coming from oil and gas, which is a white male dominated industry, working 20 years in that industry, I get it. I totally get it. Being a Black woman, we're at the bottom of the totem pole and we need to be protected and we need to start having certain conversations and we're going to have to start pushing the envelope. Absolutely.
And I'm glad to see Megan leading the charge. So, hey, I'm happy about that. All right, let's get into some campaign talk. All right, so Trump has declared himself immune to COVID, and his doctors won't say when he was last tested negative. So what's going on? Dr. Jen?
Look, if y'all can see me rolling my eyes in the back of my head right now at Trump, okay? I'm so sick of this man and his narcissistic BS. Immunity, where did he get immunity from? Like, what is he talking about? There's not a scientist out there in this world that has said that there is some immunity when it comes to COVID, at least not that we've heard of. So he just creates his own, you know, I don't even know what world he lives in. He just creates whatever he wants. So it's just, but the thing is, the crazy thing is that why won't they tell us the last time he was tested? Because if he was just tested negative, what's the problem?
Here's the problem.
All a lie. Okay, it's all a lie. He probably never got COVID in the first place. He never been sick. It's all hocus pocus. But anyway, that's my thought.
Okay, so let me ask Sandra. You know, Trump is kind of down in the polls in some areas against Biden. Do you think this is a smart strategy for him to adopt to kind of, you know, try to present himself as some, you know, a hero that he overcame COVID and he's being all under wraps about how he did it?
Oh my God, yes. I was like Jen, the major eye roll here. Okay. I think it's definitely a ploy. You know, I was reading an article just yesterday. They said voters are going out and voting like 6 times more than they were doing at this time at the last election. So people are going out there to register their votes, to make their voice heard. I only hope it's going in the right direction, okay? That people are really seeing the antics of this man. I mean, his picture ought to be right next to the words fake news in the dictionary, because you can't trust anything this man says.
Oh, man. Okay, we're like just 3 weeks out from the election. I'm sure we got more shenanigans coming ahead. But speaking of shenanigans, the Republicans in California got caught putting out fake ballot boxes. Jen, what's going on?
Listen. If all of those people do not go to jail, you know how mad I'm going to be? That is fraud. That is absolute fraud. How can they get away? Could you imagine a whole bunch of Black people putting out fake ballots all over Tampa Bay and what they would do to us? We'd be sitting in jail for 25 to 30 years. And they're like, oh, well, we're going to keep doing it. We don't care. You know, it's worth it to us. I'm like, what? And they'll probably get away with it. They will get away with it. How can you even do that?
Well, I mean, Republicans fight dirty, right? Is this a perfect example or not?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Sandra, what are your thoughts? You think let me ask you this. Are you surprised by their audacity?
No, because they take, it's like in a corporation. You take from the leadership, from the top, okay? And so the leadership at the top has been set, and we have seen that play out in so many different scenarios, to the racial injustice, to things like this where they are putting out fake ballot boxes. I mean, they are only following their leader.
Okay. All right. Looks like they're going to follow them all the way
Let's hope
wherever
they
they're
follow
going.
him to jail. Okay.
Right on out of the White House. Let's hope.
Prison.
Okay, all right. So now let me ask you about this. Twitter suspended an account where the people tweeting were posing as Black Trump supporters. Wow. Jen, let me ask you this. Trump has Black supporters. Did they have to put together a fake account for this?
Yes, they did, because he's got 5 real Black supporters and the rest are being paid for. Okay. So yes, they needed to put together. I mean, come on, we've all seen the images of the tables that they have at the events that says like Black Trump supporters, and there's like no Black people there, and it's all like run by white people. We've seen this before. Like, it's, again, there's not enough. I mean, we did see him speak when he came down to Sanford, and he had a group of Black people in the background, but they're probably paid to be there. Like, I don't trust any of it. It's so fake, it's ridiculous.
Oh man. So Sandra, let me ask you this. How do you think they got tripped up? Reports are saying that the language was identical across, different accounts. Some folks would say they can spot people, who are being phony Black by the way that they talk, because we have a certain, pattern to our speech. What do you think?
I think it was just a whole bait and switch type of thing. I think it's part of their ploy to direct the Black attention away from the voting, away from the election that's getting ready to come up, get us all riled up, get us fighting against one another, Black Democrats against Black Republicans. They're trying to take our eye off the ball, which is that we have an important election coming up in just a couple of weeks, and we need to be focused on that.
Okay, so no using Black people as props.
Right.
All right.
Let's not do that.
Let's get into these Supreme Court hearings. Kamala Harris was grilling Amy Coney Barrett at the hearing this week, kind of, getting her to try to nail down on some issues, and she's mostly been evasive. Jen, what's she hiding?
Everything. She's hiding everything. I mean, it's all a lie again. I mean, so the thing is, we know that when it comes to these Trump supporters and I don't want to say all Republicans, but a large amount of them, there's so much like back BS that's going on. So right now she's playing the game. She knows that the less she says, probably the better off she'll be, because they're trying to get supporters from both sides. You want to try to steal some of the Democratic votes, but you also want to make sure that your base is happy, right? So you have to be really smart with what you say and how you say it. So yes, of course, she's not gonna like speak on every issue. We know this, so it's no surprise to me at all.
Yeah, so apparently she submitted some documents late that were supposed to be, handed in prior to the start of the hearings. And she also kind of failed to mention that she signed onto an ad that called Roe versus Wade barbaric. Sandra, how concerned should we be?
I think, first of all, let me just say, I love the way Kamala is handling some things, the debate with Pence, even in these, interrogations and everything, like her demeanor, her attitude, she is like on it, so I love seeing that. I love seeing her in action and everything. And, as far as, I didn't think some things needed to be said, because it's kind of like in a courtroom where, an attorney asks a question and the other attorney objects, and then they say withdraw. I don't need to say the rest. I'm already gone on record. We already know what happened here. Everybody in the room already knows what the answer is. So I think we are very much aware of where this candidate stands on some things. And so Kamala proved her point even without going all the way in that direction.
Listen, we know there's one thing Kamala's going to do. She's going to get to the bottom of it, right?
Exactly.
All right. Okay, let's flip over to the Congress now. Well, specifically, House Democrats. They're talking about overhauling laws that kind of govern what your big tech companies do. So your Facebook, Amazon, things of that nature. Jen, let me ask you, is this a good move?
Well, let me tell you this. If they mess with my Amazon Prime, we fighting, okay? That's all I know. Okay, that's all I know. Okay. No, look, I gladly give them my $120 every year. Here you go. Thank you. I think, honestly, I think it's probably a little too late for them to try to overhaul these big companies, right? I mean, maybe it's something they could have done 10, 15 years ago at the beginning stages when the company started to get this big. But now, I mean, what? Bezos is worth, what, $67 billion? I mean, it's too late now. He owns everything. I mean, what are they going to do at this point? The Google, Facebook, Amazon, there's not going to be much that they can do to change or dismantle it. And the uproar from that, I think, is going to be too catastrophic for the government to handle. And these companies have billions of dollars. They will win their day in court. I don't see where we're going to see change. Now, the one thing I do think that they could do is, if they do want to be fair and try to be less of a monopoly, they could start to create initiatives allowing smaller companies to be able to get a little piece of the pie. And that would be good for all of them. Maybe we get other tech companies to come in and help with different things in Google, and other smaller Black businesses to come in and help with little shipping supplies for Amazon. So that would be great, to be able to allow other companies to come in. But as far as like dismantling or breaking up these large companies, I think that's crazy.
Okay, well, so listen, Jen's on the record saying that she's going to fight if they mess with her Amazon. Sandra, what you prepared to do?
Look, I got Prime too. Today is Prime Day, so after we finish this, I got to go do some shopping, okay? But, first of all, like, there's a saying where I come from: worry about yourself, okay? So I think in that respect, the government has too many things that they need to be working on and focused on to be worrying about what's happening over here in big business with like Apple and Google and that sort of thing. I think, like Jen said, in a way, it's almost too late to try to put the rabbit back in the hat, or, that we're past that. Okay. But the other thing is that we're a country that's built on free enterprise. Okay. So that's what they did. They went out and did free enterprise. Now we're reining it in and we're saying, oh, wait a minute, I didn't mean that free. Okay. I think we have to know where we stand on some things, before we go try and jack it.
Now, listen, last week, the FBI uncovered these militiamen, domestic terrorists. So let me ask you, Jen, because now it seems that the Virginia governor, Northrop, I think is his name, was also one of those governors who was targeted. Oh my gosh. Can you believe this?
Listen, I feel like I'm watching a movie. Every time I turn on the news, I feel like I'm watching a crazy behind movie, and at some point it's gonna end, and you're gonna wake up and it's gonna be like, oh, that was just a movie. That was. It's crazy to me. And the craziest thing about it, like, let's just think for a second. If those people, those militia people, were Black or brown or Indian or Arabian or Muslim, will we be sitting here having this conversation? No, they would all been well beyond bars. It would have been plastered all over the news. I've barely seen it on the news at all. Like, barely. Like, it should have been headlines every single day. But because they white folk, they get away with it. Like, I mean, they're not going to get away with it, but it's seemingly less of an issue.
Mm-hmm. So supposedly these might be folk who are attached to QAnon, extremists nonetheless. So Sandra, talk to me. So
look, there's some scary times we're living in right now. I mean,
thank you.
And it's not that some of that stuff might not have been going on all along, really, since the beginning of time, but the fact that it's so public, so out in the open now, that people have no problems with calling you the N-word to your face in the store. And if you try to video it, they right there like, go ahead and video it. I mean, they just do not care. There is something that has changed under this current president that I am really afraid if we go into another term with this president again. Where is that going to lead us? Because again, they are taking their tone from the top. They feel free to express themselves and to say things that they used to keep hidden. We're dealing with some scary times, some real scary times.
Now, the sheriff in the county where these men were arrested in Michigan, he tried to say that, they were just going to make a citizen's arrest. If you're a domestic terrorist, I don't think you're making citizens arrests. I think it's something a little more sinister. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's switch it up. Offset and Cardi B. A few weeks back, Cardi filed for divorce. She said she was done. Earlier this week, she pops up on social media flaunting her nice Rolls Royce truck that her soon-to-be ex-hubby gifted her for her birthday. And then they're like kissing all over social media. What is up with this, Jen?
Well, first off, Cardi B can really do no wrong to me. After WAP, I love her, so whatever. But one thing that I think I talked to somebody before about was that it's a really good move for them to get divorced if he's having another baby to somebody else or whatever might be going on with this other woman, because their joint income, Cardi B and Offset's joint income, is a little high. So it might be a smart move for them to, legally divorce. But at the same token, like, the one thing I will say is that as women, I think we have to stop making it acceptable to take back men who blatantly do us wrong. Cardi don't need Offset for nothing. Okay, she don't need him for nothing, and he ain't even cute. So I don't really understand why she's so like all over this man. But okay, whatever. But we have to like change that as women and say like, no, I'm not taking you back. Like, I'm grown. I can do all of this all by myself, and she can, and she has the resources and the power and the backing to do it.
Okay, but she didn't say that she was taking them back. Maybe she's just having a little fun before, she walks out the door forever. Sandra, what do you think?
All those sexy behind men she could be having fun with. She don't need to be having fun with Offset.
Because he's not even that attractive.
Right.
Yeah. No,
but he is the father of her baby.
So
that is part of the problem. Okay, so let me chime in on this. And as a coach who works with women empowerment, I get what Jen is saying about women and why they go back to men who treat them well, who treat them wrong and everything, who don't treat them well. I once read an article about Cardi, and it wasn't a big article, but it was an article where she talked about how insecure she is and how she has low self-esteem and she doubts herself a lot. And Offset actually helped her with a lot of that. And she goes to him to help her navigate and move through a lot of that. And so I think because of that, she puts herself in a situation where she stays in it with him, not because of the money situation or anything else. It's because of how she views herself. Because I firmly believe when a woman has self-esteem and self-worth, she's not going to put up with any man's BS, okay? Because she knows she can get out there and do it on her own. She doesn't need him for anything. But in her case, in her mind, because of that sense of self-esteem that's lacking and that sense of insecurity that she has, she's probably going to hold on to him a lot longer than she should.
Dang, I hate to see it. Although I'm thinking Cardi is just, she's just playing the role until, she absolutely cuts him off. But that's just me. I'm like Jen. I don't think she can do any wrong. But, whatever. All right, ladies, thank you so much. Loved having you.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Bye. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by the Klingman Group.
Good morning, Marco Marvels. Thank you so much for hanging in there with us. And we want to let you know that if you go to pattiespeppers.com, you can get 50% off. All you have to do is use the promo code MOCHA.
So go ahead and get yourself.
Ooh. Get yourself.
Your Mocha Minute is brought to you by blackinthebay.com, your online connection to everything that's Black in the Bay.
It's now time for our Mocha Moments. Congratulations are going out.
Congratulations.
Glamour magazine recently dropped its Women of the Year 2020.
And who are those women in that top 20?
Well, some of those women include actress extraordinaire Regina King.
Wow.
Atlanta's mayor Keisha Lance Bottom.
Come on now, Miss Bottoms.
And the director of the NAACP Legal and Education Fund, Sherilyn Ifield.
Get it together.
Yes, congrats, ladies.
Look at you! It's like riding a bike. Just boop, 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 boop.
Got right on. Kept moving. Oh my gosh, so much fun.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Our guest contributor.
Sandra,
What?
thank you. You were amazing.
Fabulous. I cannot wait to kiki some more with her.
Yeah, she's a lot of fun.
Hey.
Absolutely.
I was meant to mention earlier in the show about it's like a busy month for a national day of something.
It is.
First of all, it's Hispanic Heritage Month.
Indigenous Peoples
We have
Day.
breast cancer awareness, and then there's domestic violence
awareness.
awareness. There was National Coming Out Day. I mean, I just think we should just run a ticker of every single day that happens nationally and internationally. I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah, because I don't want to miss a day.
I don't want to miss a day.
That's a good idea.
We don't want to miss a day, so we want to make sure that all of you are thinking about those days are important. Indigenous People Day.
Yes, very important stuff.
We didn't have a mocha in the morning day,
We do.
but we do kind of like every Friday.
Oh wow, I like that. Okay, yes. Next federal holiday for Mocha in the Morning Day. Okay.
Drop that beat. Boom. How about that?
All right. Well, Jorge, I appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
As a co-host.
I know.
I can't wait to do it
All
again.
this.
Yes.
Wakanda-ness.
Absolutely. And thank you for joining us. Have a great week. See you next week.
See you next week. Ooh, this is orange strip.
Okay.